The moment I crossed the graduation stage, I felt something I had waited years for, finally being seen. I had worked 2 part-time jobs, pulled all-nighters, and survived on instant noodles just to finish my degree. My parents knew how hard it had been for me. Or at least, I thought they did. After the ceremony, they called my twin sister, Mia, and me to the center of the courtyard. My whole family stood around us with their phones out, ready to record. My mom smiled at Mia like she was the sun itself. "Sweetheart," she said proudly, "we have a special gift for you." Dad handed Mia a small velvet box. She opened it, and inside was a golden key. The whole family gasped. My dad announced loudly, "It's the key to your new house. Brand new. Fully furnished. All yours." People clapped. Mia screamed and hugged them, jumping like she'd won a lifetime prize. Then it was my turn. My parents exchanged a look, an uncomfortable, guilty one, and my mom pulled a thin envelope from her purse. "This is for you," she said quietly. I opened it. A single scratch-off lottery ticket. Worth, maybe $2. Everyone around us went silent. My throat tightened. I forced a smile because that's what I'd always done, pretend it didn't hurt. Pretend I didn't notice the difference. Pretend being the stronger twin meant I needed less love. But something inside me cracked. That night, alone in my dorm room, I stared at the lottery ticket. I wasn't angry about the money, I was angry about the message. She deserves stability. You deserve chance. I scratched the ticket slowly. And then I froze. I had won. $2 million. I checked it again. Then again. It was real. My hand started shaking, not because I was shocked at winning, but because fate had just served the cleanest, quietest revenge imaginable. Instead of telling my family, I hired a financial advisor, put everything under an LLC, invested half, saved half, and silently started building a life where no one could treat me like a backup option ever again. Months later, Mia invited the whole family to see her new house. They flaunted it like it was a symbol of her success. I showed up in a simple car, simple clothes, silent, as always. My dad patted my back. "Don't worry, son. Your time will come." I smiled. My time already did. They didn't understand. Not yet. A year later, I bought a luxury apartment, paid in full. My parents were stunned when I invited them to see it. Mom whispered, How could you afford this?" I gently placed something in her hand. The original lottery ticket. Her face went white. Dad swallowed hard. Mia stared at me like she was seeing me for the first time in her life. "You gave me chance," I said calmly. "And I made it certainty." I wasn't rude. I wasn't angry. I was just done. And walking them out of my home that day, I realized something. I didn't need a golden key to feel worthy. I just needed to stop waiting for permission to rise. After I bought my apartment, things in the family shifted, awkwardly, silently. My parents suddenly began calling more often. My mom asked vague questions like, "Are you doing okay financially?" My dad offered advice I never asked for. And Mia, who once treated me like a background character, acted overly sweet, as if I'd forgotten years of favoritism. But I stayed polite. Calm. Neutral. Inside, though, I watched everything. One evening, Mia called, voice sugar-coated. "Hey, twin. So listen. I'm renovating my house. It's costing a lot. Since you're doing so well now, maybe you can help me out a little?" There it was. The expectation. The entitlement. I asked her gently, "Why don't you ask Mom and Dad? They gifted it to you." She sighed dramatically. "They've already done enough. Plus, you won that lottery, it's only fair you share. We're family. Family. The word they only remembered when they needed something. I didn't argue. I simply said, I'll think about it. The next week, my parents invited me for dinner. When I walked in, they were all seated, Mia included, looking strangely serious. My stomach dropped. I knew that look. It was the intervention look. Dad cleared his throat. Son, we need to talk about that money. You're young. You might waste it. We think it's best if we manage it for you. My mom nodded eagerly. You're not responsible like Mia. She owns a home. You rent. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because they truly had no idea how blind they were. And, Mia added smugly, I could really use some help with my renovations. The house is for my future family, you know. I leaned back in my chair and looked at all three of them. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel smaller. I felt taller. Sharper. Unshakable. You want to manage my money? I asked calmly. Dad nodded. Yes. For your own good. And you want financial help? I asked Mia. She smiled confidently. Of course. That's what siblings do. I let the silence stretch. Then I spoke, voice steady. You all made it very clear who deserved what. You gave her a house. You gave me a lottery ticket. You chose your side long before money came into the picture. Their faces tensed, but I wasn't done. You didn't think I deserved stability. You didn't think I deserved anything, really. So now that I'm stable and thriving, you suddenly want to share? Mom blinked, stunned. We didn't mean it like that. But that is what you meant, I replied. You saw me as second. So stop acting shocked that I stopped trying to be first. Mia crossed her arms, defensive. So you're choosing money over family? No, I said softly. I'm choosing respect over hypocrisy. The room fell completely silent. I stood up. Walked to the door. And before leaving, I said the one sentence that closed the chapter forever. You can't demand loyalty from someone you always treated like a backup. When I walked out of the house, I didn't look back. Because for the first time in my life, my future was mine. And it was just the beginning of a life they never expected me to build. Weeks passed after that dinner, and the silence from my family was louder than any argument we'd ever had. No calls. No messages. Not even a forwarded meme from Mia. For once, I wasn't the one chasing peace. I wasn't the one apologizing just to keep everyone comfortable. And strangely, it felt good. One afternoon, as I sat in my new apartment overlooking the city, my doorbell rang. I opened it to find my parents and Mia standing together, looking unsure, like they weren't sure if they were welcome. The same people who once treated me like an afterthought were now standing at the door of a life they never believed I could build. My mom spoke first. Can we come in? Please? I stepped aside. They entered quietly, looking around my place with wide, stunned eyes, marble floors, minimalist design, everything fresh, calm, intentional. This is beautiful, my dad whispered, almost ashamed. We sat down. No small talk this time, no pretending. Mom clasped her hands. We're not here for money. We're here because we didn't realize what we were doing. You were always the strong one. We thought you didn't need much. I looked at her. Needing less doesn't mean deserving less. Her eyes filled with tears. Mia spoke next, her voice small, nothing like the confident girl who flexed a house key a year ago. I'm sorry. She swallowed hard. I didn't know how it felt. I shouldn't have expected anything from you. I shouldn't have treated you like the spare twin. It was the first honest sentence she'd said to me in years. For a long moment, nobody spoke. The room felt heavy, like decades of imbalance were finally being acknowledged. I breathed out slowly. I don't hate any of you. I just needed space to finally choose myself. Dad nodded. We understand if things take time. We just don't want to lose you. I stood up and walked to the window, looking at the skyline glowing gold in the sunset. I'm not asking for anything. Not gifts. Not apologies. Not management. Just respect. That's it. When I turned back, they all nodded. And for the first time, it felt sincere. I walked them to the door. Before leaving, my mom touched my arm gently. You built all this without us, she said softly. We're proud of you. Truly. I smiled, not out of validation, but closure. After they left, I stood in my living room, the city lights reflecting off the windows. For the first time in years, my heart felt steady. I didn't need a house gift to feel worthy. I didn't need approval to build a future. I just needed one simple thing. To stop waiting for my family to choose me, and choose myself instead. And that choice changed everything.